Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Seoul, South Korea, ARC number 1, going to flyweight. EunJung coming in 0-2 versus HyunJu Baek coming in 0-4. Obviously, we're not looking at the highest level of competition here given their records, but was going in expecting a fun scrap at least. Now ARC, I talked about this in a couple of different videos. They're coming in under the new 3-3-3 rule. 3 rounds, 3 minutes apiece. Third 3 is a 30-second limit on the ground if there's no progression. So fast stand-ups. And these fights were held in a smaller cage, which was going to push the action. Okay, so round 1. Lee was pressing the action. Baek was content to counter. Big bombs thrown by Lee, bloodied Baek's nose. Takedown by Lee, however, was reversed by Baek. Very nice job there. And Baek was able to get on Lee's back and sink in a rear naked choke. And unfortunately for her, that's where the round ended. A little bit longer round. Might have been able to finish it. Round 2. Lee again pressed the action. Baek again content to counter. Pair of clinches that were broken up. I thought they're a little bit too fast, but again, this rule set is meant to set a high pace. I thought there wasn't enough activity from Baek aside from one nice combo on a counter. Very nice combo, like 2 or 3 piece combo. Third round, Baek started throwing more at first, letting Lee come forward, but wasn't, waiting for her to throw first. She was getting off her shots first. Then there was a little bit of inactivity, and they both got warned by the ref. Very surprised by that. At one point, actually at 2 different points, each of them caught the other off guard, off balance with some strikes, wobbled the other. Lee decided to pick it up at the 2-minute 30-second mark, which meant there was 30 seconds left. She picked it up a little bit, found a second wind, but then 10 seconds left, both of these two just threw everything they had at each other. Just were not going to, leave anything inside the cage. Went to the judges. Both of them looked exhausted, and the decision went to EunJung. One thing important to keep in mind is that the Road FC judging criteria is an open fight, not open fight scoring. It's a whole fight scoring system. It's actually pretty complex. So it wasn't scored round by round. So winner of the whole fight, they judged EunJung, even though she looked pretty exhausted by the end of the second round. Some notes I took down. Baek looked to be the better fighter technically, but EunJung came in with a way better game plan, came out, pressed the action, threw more volume, and under this rule system with the shorter rounds and the smaller cage, Lee definitely fought to the constraints set forth better than HyunJu Baek did. Even though I thought she landed the more technical strikes, seemed a better technical fighter. Things to work on for HyunJu Baek, the loser, now 0-5. Some people might say just hang him up. I've seen fighters with similar records that go on and start winning. So she could turn around. Big thing, she's got to keep her hands up. Her hands were down low the whole time, and she's got to start moving her head more. And she used some more head movement. A lot of Lee's punches would have missed. She also needs to start letting her hands go faster. Third round, she started throwing first instead of waiting for Jung to throw. Whereas the previous 2 rounds, she was waiting for Jung to throw, but Jung was throwing whirlwind flurries, and she couldn't get her hands off quick enough. For EunJung, she needs to work on her boxing fundamentals. She can't just throw haymakers the entire fight, and that's really what she was doing. She was throwing looping haymakers the whole fight. That worked in the constraints of this fight, but she's not always going to be fighting under the ARC 3-3-3 rules. Okay? She basically killed her arms after the first 2 rounds She was coming forward in the third round, but she wasn't throwing because her arms were tired. You can't do that in a regular 3x5 or 2x5 fight. A lot of times, Road FC has only 2-round fights for the ladies, although they're 5 rounds apiece, or 5 minutes apiece rather. So you really can't, you can't just throw yourself out in the first 2 rounds and then leave yourself gassed in the third. Anyway, that's what I thought about the fight. Like I said earlier, not the highest level of fight going in, but it was a fun little scrap to watch. Very interesting rule set, small cage, definitely forced the fighters to push the action, and the referees made them push the action more as well. I'll link the fight in the description or in a pinned comment. Go ahead and watch it. It's a quick fight. Won't take up too much time if you haven't watched it yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Likes are always appreciated. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.